Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel. So today I just want to go through a few things that I would do if I could ever go back to sixth form. So I'm going to break it down into 4 sections. I have my notes on screen that way actually. But yeah, before I get started, I just want to say thank you for the support on the channel. I don't know what happened. I was only expecting like 2 or 3 people to be like, okay, great, you're doing this, that's all right, great, don't really care. But somehow it's reached out to nearly 400 people now, and all the people are supporting optimistically, and yeah, I just can't say thank you enough. I was kind of mind blown. I woke up this morning, just looked at my phone, was like, wait, hold on, is there a bug or something? So yeah, if you're one of those people, thank you, welcome to my channel. If you're new here and you haven't seen the previous video, I'm a first year economics student and finance student actually at the University of East Anglia, and I'm currently going through like this mini journey on becoming like a data analyst kind of thing. So I'm gonna be learning like Excel, SQL, Python, Tableau, those kind of languages and stuff like that. But that's kind of the basis of that video. But this video is discussing on what I would do if I could go back you know, to year 12, year 13. The big moment where you're like, oh, you feel very grown up, let's say, and university is just around the corner. I mean, it's like it happened yesterday. Like I was in sixth form yesterday, and yeah, I'm at university now, so time flies by. So don't think, oh, I'm in year 12, I have 2 years, I have a year until I need to start deciding my university. I've got a year, I don't need to work hard now, I've just done my GCSEs. I know it's exam period right now, so it's a bit of an awkward time to make this video, but I just decided that, you know what, I'm gonna put it out for anyone in year 11 going into year 12 next year. Good luck with your exams, and you know, make your decisions early and you'll be ahead of the game. And for anyone going into year 13 who are currently in year 12, you've still got a lot of time until your UCAS application, so don't worry if you haven't decided where you're going already. Hopefully this video will help you decide what you want to do with your future, whether you want to go down the university route or the apprenticeship route or internship or anything like that, right? So yeah, let's get started. So with me, in year 12, let's give a context backstory about myself. I wanted to become a journalist. So, you know, little Ivan, being me, I chose English, maths, and chemistry as my 3 A-levels. You're probably thinking by now, why? Why did you choose those? English? Right. Maths? Why? And then chemistry? You're choosing maths and chemistry. Maths isn't that easy of an A-level. Chemistry is considered one of the hardest A-levels. And English, why? Why put yourself through that? Well, from that perspective at the time, I was like, you know, I got some decent grades. I got some 8s, got some 7s, 8s and 9s in those subjects. So I was like, you know what? I'll just choose those subjects because, you know, obviously at GCSE I was good at them. So why wouldn't I be good at them at A-level? It's not that big of a jump, right? Well, when they say there's a big jump between A-level and GCSEs, there's a big jump, or I meant the other way, but you know what I mean. It's not a big jump in terms of content, but in terms of the way they style questions, in terms of the workload you have to put in, the amount of effort you have to put in at A-level compared to GCSEs is a big difference. Despite myself not taking GCSEs, I still went through the process of revising. So I kind of know the gist of like how both were kind of like when revising, and I can tell you A-level was definitely much more intense, especially with economics. If you're taking economics right now at A-level, good job on you. It's the best A-level out there. Don't think otherwise, right? It's the best A-level. No bias here, but yeah. So my top tip would be to choose your 4 subjects. Don't just start with 3, choose 4 so you have a variety. And as you've probably just heard, I didn't choose economics at first. I actually dropped out of chemistry and switched to economics after the first Christmas holiday of year 12. So don't do that stupid mistake. Choose 4 A-levels, drop 1. It's easier to drop than to join, right? That's another tip. It is easier to drop than join. Put the quote somewhere, Ivan, future Ivan. But yeah, so choose 4 subjects that are relevant to something you want to do in the future, whether it be an apprenticeship or at university. If you want to take economics, choose things that are related to economics. Like, don't choose English, don't choose history, don't choose French. I mean, French can be related if you're doing international economics, but if you're doing just, let's say, straight economics student, pick something like maths, further maths, economics, and geography. You won't regret it. Geography, okay, This is another story. Do not laugh at geography students. They are, honestly, they don't just learn about rocks. Geography could go to physical geography, human geography, social, political geography. There are so many aspects of geography that you do not know about until you take the subject, and I should have taken geography. That is one of my biggest regrets to this day. Take geography. It's not useless. It's not just about learning waterfalls, learning about rocks, whatever they say. It is a useful subject. So that's another tip. But yeah, just to conclude that point, I just want to say choose 4 relevant subjects to the subject that you want to do at a degree or what you want to do in the future. And in that way, it will help not only in like your CV and your context of learning in the future, but it'll also just give you like an all-rounder kind of like of what you're going to be learning. Because at university, you do one subject, but there are multiple modules, especially like talking from an economics perspective. You learn multiple things. Like you don't just learn the micro, macro, you also learn like statistics, which involves maths, obviously. And in the top unis, like the Russell Group, like UCL, LSE, stuff like that, they'll force you to have a certain degree of A-level maths, right? So that'd be highly recommended if you're aiming for like the so-called skyrocket universities, right? So yeah. And then there's also things like behavioral economics that I'm currently learning at UEA. It's amazing. Behavioral economics, I love it. I want to pursue it in the future. So yeah, if you get different subjects that are related to the subject you want to do in the future, it can really help bring up your understanding of the subject as a whole in the future. So hopefully that makes sense. Okay, second point. It's already 7 minutes long. I'm so sorry. But second point is, instead of looking at league tables, entry requirements, and choosing based off location, look at the modules of each university and decide based off that. So let's say you wanted to do economics at one university and you wanted to do economics at another university. Let's say you got an offer at both, right? Let's say you're not finding universities. Let's just say you've got an offer from both of these universities and you're deciding they're so similar, they've got the exact same entry requirements, let's say AAA, right? And you don't know where to go. Well, first things first, people will say, oh, look at the location, look at the teachers, look at the party life, nightlife, stuff like that, right? No, don't do that. Don't do that whatsoever. Choose the modules first, right? You're better off looking at the modules, the stuff you're going to be learning, the stuff that's going to take up 98% of your time in theory, instead of looking at the external factors, the exogenous factors that don't really matter. What I mean by this is, look at what you're going to be learning in first year, look at the options you have in second and third year, and see if you enjoy it. So for example, if I went to, let's say, I'm not sure, let's say a different uni, let's just say a different university, and they didn't have behavioral economics and data science modules in their undergrad course. Now, I would be sitting there crying, being like, where are these options? I want to do these, but I won't have the opportunity to because they don't offer it. And that is one thing I didn't do. I got very lucky with UEA. All I knew is that they were like one of the best for behavioral economics, and that's basically it. Didn't know if they did data science, didn't know if they did experimental economics and stuff like that. So top recommendation is to look at your course outline and look at the modules within the first year, second year, third year. So let's say you don't really like history, and let's say I know just from based off where my friends go at Cardiff, they do the economic history of economics. So if you don't like that, maybe that might put you off. So if let's say you had an offer from Cardiff and then somewhere else, if that other university that wasn't Cardiff didn't have economic history, that may be the deciding factor. So yes, that's another tip. Choose based off modules and not external factors. Third thing is start revising early, like really, really early, right? If you leave it until the last second, everyone does this, including myself. We leave it till too late and we're like, where do we start? What do? I have no time. I can't do all of this in like 1 month, right? Then go off revising early next time. So if you're in GCSE right now, start revising when you get into year 12. Don't spend the year 12 or that year doing nothing basically and just being like, I've got next year until I do it. Because when it comes to year 13, you'll be like, oh, I didn't do the stuff in year 12, I need to write notes on that, and you'll be constantly behind. So you might as well start at the beginning, start right from day one, even if you know what it is, even if you've done it before, write notes, because there's always going to be a change, especially when you move up the education level, right? So like in economics in first year, I don't know who told me this, but they said first year economics is basically the same as A-level economics. yes to a degree, but no to another degree, because there are things that you just do not derive at A level that you learn at university, and they teach you in such a specific way that if you don't write it down, then you're not going to fully understand what a question will be in the exam or something like that along the future. And everything based off stuff from everything's based off stuff from previous years. So if you don't understand something from first year, you're not going to understand a concept in second year, and that would just keep digging you a hole basically, right? So always start revising early, especially for your A levels, right? That's tip number 3. And the fourth and final tip is take advantages of your teachers. I'm telling you, right? Top tip, be the biggest annoying rat to your teacher as possible. Email them, ask them questions, just keep nagging them to be like, I don't get this. Don't sit in the corner of the classroom and be like, okay, I don't really understand this, so I'll ask at the end of class, or I'll ask in email, or I'll ask next week, I'll ask next month, because that asking next month will become a year, and then by the end of it, you'll be at the end of the year doing your final exam and you still won't know the answer. So the best thing to do is to instantly ask, not be rude about it, but maybe pop them an email if it was too busy in class, or just put your hand up in class and be like, okay, sir, madam, ma'am, I didn't know, or miss, mrs, whatever, I don't understand this, can you please go through it? Because if you go through something and then understand it, you're more likely to remember it, because remembering some concept is one thing, but understanding then remembering it is another thing. So that's another top tip. Take advantage of your teachers and be really annoying to them to the point where they're like, please just shush. Okay, so yeah, until you get it. So yeah, hopefully you took something out of this video. I know it was pretty long, and it wasn't supposed to be this long, but yeah, I'll see you guys later. Oh yeah, like and subscribe, of course.